Welcome today to North Georgia Business Radio X. My name is Joy Whitlow. You guys have not heard me in quite some time. I normally sit back here and produce, and we welcome you guys to the show today. We are, of course, dealing with a pandemic, and so we have a couple of great businesses in here. We're going to make this show a little shorter today just because we know that you guys are trying to make sure that you keep up with what's going on in our community and with what is going on, of course, with the COVID-19. And so first, let's go ahead and get into it because I really want to make sure that we have all of these lovely folks that have come in here. I want to welcome Miss Cori first and foremost. Cori's awesome. Yay, look, Cori's on Facebook. It's shocking for her, and she'll make sure that it goes away quickly. But we want to make sure that we recognize Bo Henderson and Dr. Bill Lampton. They are busy trying to make sure that they have everything basically working for them there. I was able to actually go ahead and continue this today, so thank you very much. And so we want to make sure that we welcome Miss Cori Salter, first and foremost, from Atlas Pizza here in Gainesville, Georgia. How are you doing today, Cori?
Doing pretty good, staying busy.
Good. Well, busy is a good thing.
Can't complain.
And so we need to make sure that's what we're doing. And so with everything that's going on, first off, are you guys still open?
We are. We're open for pickups and deliveries only at this point. We went that way on Tuesday to be ahead of the game. We realized that our dining room was still full, even though we took out 5 tables and, we were limiting, but we were still packed, so we said we weren't doing any good letting everybody congregate, so we went to pickups and deliveries on Tuesday.
And, this is something great that I saw because when I was driving past there, like you guys, yes, you closed your dining room, but you have an amazing setup at the front of your store. There's a giant tent, and you've made sure that you have parking spots and everything available like right there to you can actually go up and you can order there, or you can call in your order. And there's something because of course not only do we have this going on, but it's also a monsoon outside. And so there's a place that you can stay, you can wait for your order. And there were a couple of holes in the tent, and all of a sudden, boom, you got a new tent.
Yep. I went as soon as it slows down, I'll be able to put up the larger tent to help cover that. But the city did go ahead and make it so that the parallel parking on the square is for pickups and curbside. So it's like 5-minute parking, and stuff, which made it a lot easier than me trying to rope off the spot in front of us at first is what I was doing. So if you've called in an order or you've come in and placed it, if you go back and sit in your car, we will holler your name so you can come back up. We're not going to the curbside as a precautionary measure. We're staying behind the table. We have an individual so that way they're not coming in direct contact so close, And we have somebody running the food from the kitchen to a table inside the dining room that then the person outside can come and pick up and hand it off.
I love the fact that you're taking all these precautions because that's one thing, of course, that a lot of people are very worried about at this point. And so talk to me about like the precautions you are taking, like, because the kitchen can get overwhelmed because a lot of people are saying, hey, you know what? I want to be able to feed my kids. I want to be able to make sure that we're still supporting local businesses. How does that work in the kitchen?
Well, we're limiting the number of employees we have in our kitchen at a time. We're not allowing more than 10 at any time. They're staying at their stations, which we've taken like a person off a pylon to make it so there's not as many people in a certain area, the 6 feet distance. And then, like I said, we then have somebody running the food from the kitchen to a staging area near the front doors. and then the person who's out front will come in, pick that up to take it outside. We're not allowing any customers inside the building.
That's it's really awesome that you guys are taking those precautions. And I know that when I was speaking with you, you said that you had that you guys are using like hospital grade sanitation, constant, not only just changing of gloves, but every time a glove comes off, hands get washed for the proper time, along with the proper soap, basically, and then gloved again to go back to the specific station. And so you're making sure that everybody can still have Atlas pizza, but also making sure that all precautions are taken care of.
Yeah, once any item's been used, it's washed before it gets used again. We're also taking every employee's temperature before they're allowed to come onto work. So anybody who's showing any symptoms or anything is not allowed to come in the building, and which is difficult with allergies and just everything else going on, but we're just not letting anybody in.
Well, I think it's awesome. So tell me something, like you guys were kind of ahead of the curve on this, and you guys took these precautions, but you're still like, how is business? How is it going?
We're doing all right. I mean, we're doing about half our normal business, but it's enough to keep us going. Vic Jordan, who's our owner, he has said that as long as we're allowed to stay open and we're still doing business, he wants to make sure that his employees are still working. So like servers and things like that have been allowed to pick up kitchen hours. We have them, on cleaning projects and things like that, helping with the front. So that way they're not without any source of income at this time.
Awesome. Well, that's great because I mean, I've known you for a long time, and we know how hard it is as soon as something this is something we've never had to deal with. Yep. And so this is very important, and I'm so glad. Thank you, Vic and Atlas, for doing all of that. Now, on your deliveries, are you guys taking precautions on your deliveries, like not going into a home? Because I do know that a lot of places are saying, should I leave this on, kind of in between rather than coming to your door?
Right. Well, our drivers, like I said, they're all temped before they're allowed to work. They're using gloves. They will leave it just at the door if that's the preference of the homeowner without handing it off to them. Right now, with it being so wet, it's a little hard to leave things sitting on the doorstep. But
very true.
But we're really just trying. We're trying to limit to only credit card payments for deliveries. That way, they don't have to deal with any cash or anything like that at the door. Limit face-to-face time with the customer.
So tell me about this, because I do know that we all have to get back to work where we can. But talk to me about how we can get in touch with the Atlas. Can we just drive up to the parallel parking? Can we, call? Is there online? Like how do we do this, and how do we get this spread to, because right now the only thing we're trying to do is spread love and pizza.
Right.
And pizza, obviously. So how do we get in touch with you, Cori?
All right. So right now the only way to do ordering is either by phone for pickup and delivery. We have our own delivery drivers. We don't use delivery services. So we've put on an extra driver, and as needed, we'll add more. But also you can come to the tent in front of Atlas Pizza and place your order. And then, like I said, you can go back and sit in your car and wait. Generally, pickups take about 25 to 35 minutes, depending upon how busy. We did get up to 45 minutes last Friday for dinner rush because I think everybody leaving work decided they wanted Atlas Pizza. So it got a little crazy for a minute, but we handled it well, I think. And like I said, we're just trying to make sure that all of our employees are still able to work if they can and if they want to.
And so that's one thing you also want to make sure people know. The reason it takes 20 to sometimes 40 minutes is because you aren't taking any shortcuts.
No, like I said, we're washing everything in between. And we're still maintaining that we cook all of our ingredients in-house. We cut our vegetables fresh every day. We're we're still trying to keep the level that we had. Just so it takes a little more time when you have less employees.
It does. Of course it does. And not just that, the food is properly prepared. And so we also have to make sure that we keep patience at this time. So if you don't mind, Cori, give me your address, the phone number. How can we get there?
Okay, so our phone number is 770-531-1144, and we're located on the Gainesville Square next to MN Perk. Our address is 104 Washington Street Northwest, and like I said, we have a big blue tent sitting in front of our building. So
Well, I think this is great. This is something that we're trying to do, and trying to make sure that we get everything, as safe as possible. And yes, we're keeping our distances, but we also need to think about our community. And so that kind of brings me in to our second guests today. And that would be, and if you guys don't know these folks by now, then I'm not doing my job. We have Miss Angelica.
Hi.
Miss Angelica Fells and Miss Shannon from Level Up Haircuts.
Hello.
And so we need to make sure that we say hello to you, because we are going to be talking about a lot of kind of crazy stuff at this point.
Right.
Yes, we are. So first and foremost, Level Up Haircuts. It's a barbershop
For men.
for men here in Gainesville. And you are shut down for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, so first, let's talk about how you came to that decision.
As everyone knows, every barbershop, hair salon, manicure place, any type of business in our industry is regulated by state board, first and foremost. So there's certain levels of cleanliness that we have to maintain daily without being regulated by the new CDC regulations for the coronavirus. So once they ask that we do the social distancing and stay within 6 feet of each other, that's kind of hard when I touch you and I touch your face and I touch your hair. So the first week when social distancing first was suggested for us to reduce the risk of the spreading of the coronavirus, we eliminated doing beer details from our store. So we didn't want anybody, super close to their face, because it is an airborne virus right now. So we literally eliminated doing that particular service. And to get to where we are now is because we need to take precautions for ourselves, first and foremost, and also for our client base to make sure they're not getting cross-contaminated. We have the chairs that we have in our shop has stainless steel on them. And right now they're saying that the virus can lay dormant for XYZ hours or XYZ days on certain things that you touch daily. So even though we added the extra layer of sanitizing, making sure everything was alcohol down, we already having to use state-regulated Barbercides and those type products, we still had to just make a formal decision that put all of us in a more safety type situation.
And I love the fact that, once again, like Alice Pizza, you guys were already on. You guys were already saying, you know what, this is what we're going to have to do. We see it coming. And so this is where we're going to go ahead and start preparing. On a little bit of a side note, I did see a post, as a lot of people that listen in often. Angelica has been on our show before.
Yay!
I know, yes. And so Angelica was on the show. So I always try to keep up with all of our folks that have been on the show. And because as everyone that has been on the show knows, once you're on, you're family.
Right.
And so I saw a post of hers oh, golly geez, about a week and a half ago. Has it been that long?
I think so.
Yeah, a little bit. And she said that she was going to be providing 10 pizzas out of her own pocket to feed the kids. That because of how quickly everything happened, the city schools weren't able to get the lunches out until Wednesday, and so we were trying to kind of help and pick up a little bit of the slack. So
Right.
I called her, I think in the middle of a haircut,
Yes.
and said, can we kind of build this up a little bit? And then we ended up feeding about 450 people that
did.
following Tuesday. And that didn't have anything just to do with me. It didn't have anything just to do with her. It had everything to do with our community, and it has really grown since then. And now we have something called Level Up in our community.
Yay!
I know, and it has been amazing. And Miss Cori, actually, from Atlas, and her daughter Lily came out and volunteered with us that day to help make sure that this was able to be brought into the community. Esteemed Solutions was there, making sure that we were sanitized and sterilized and all the safety precautions were taken.
Right, and we had plenty of people on our side. We had CQ at Untouchables, the barbershop here in
Yes.
Gainesville, that was there to support the community. We had Tiffany Nicely with Spread the Love for the Homeless, who came over also. So we had an abundance of small businesses pulling together for this community so we can make sure that we feed these kids that's in quarantine.
And I want to make sure that I give a big shout out to In Between Deli, to
Yes.
Mellow Mushroom,
Yeah.
Pizza Hut, Burger King, Sliced Pizza here in Gainesville.
Right.
I mean, Bluefin, who
Bluefin.
actually got all of the food for the volunteers. And so just the abundance of people that came together to make this happen, and now it just continues to grow. So, Shannon, how did you, when Angelica came up to you and said, "Oh my gosh, Joy just called, and this might be a little crazy," what were your thoughts on how this was going to go?
First, my head was spinning.
You actually had a client in your chair too, and you was like, "Say what?"
Yeah. It's crazy at first. And I was like, whatever's coming into her head is gonna come out.
And we all know that about Miss Angelica.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's one thing I want to talk about, and this is something that I think we've already hit on a little bit. Unity.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what does that mean? And now that we're going into the Level Up
Movement.
our community movement, I'm going to bring Cori back in, and just so please put forth, because she was part of this as well. And so I'm so grateful for that. So talk to me about what unity and community means. It was what we're trying to do now.
Okay, so once we started the Level Up in Your Community page, we created a Level Up movement. The Level Up movement is to restore the unity in our community and make sure that we're all looking out for each other, because nobody's going to battle Corona by themselves. It's all going to take every one of us to come together and help take care of our neighbors instead of hoarding and taking care of ourselves. So that's the whole purpose of uniting the small businesses, uniting the communities back together, uniting people from all walks of life to come together, help volunteer, and help try to get the kids fed, or the elderly in the community fed, and or either the families that are low income that needs feeding. So that was the whole point.
And this is something, and I think everybody in this studio right now we're all very proud of not ourselves.
Oh no.
We're proud of how everybody came together and everybody gave to do something good amidst the pandemic.
Exactly.
And so that's where the faith over fear comes in. Now, this, of course, was extremely successful. And, you never know how things are going to go. And it didn't exactly go like the blueprint, but, it happened.
Right.
And we thank you to the Gainesville Police Department, to the Sheriff's Department, and to all of the volunteers that we mentioned earlier that were helping out. And so, and guess what? It has expanded.
Yes, because now we're feeding again this week. So tomorrow is Spaghetti Wednesday.
Tomorrow is Spaghetti Wednesday. And I guarantee you, I know where I'm going to be.
Hey, let's go get the spaghetti, man.
And so just to let you know, we are going to be once again on Delta Drive at the VFW starting at 11 a.m. We are going to be there once again, taking all of the same precautions. That is something that we hold in very high regards. A lot of people are asking if they can volunteer. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to have any more volunteers,
Right.
Because we are keeping regulations and social distancing. Yes. So we're going to be line dancing like very far apart. No.
We'll just be out there far enough apart so we're not cross-contaminating each other or the cars that we're going to go give food to.
And so, but there are a lot of people. You can go to our Facebook page, which is Level Up for Our Community.
Right.
On Facebook. We are doing fundraisers because it looks like we're going to be doing this for a little bit longer, and that is on our page.
Yes, it is.
And so all you have to do is go on there, and if you give $2, if you give $5, we always love our volunteer. We love our volunteers, but unfortunately in this scenario, we cannot, we aren't going to be able to do that. So, Cori, how did you, you had Lily there, your daughter, with you last week. What did you guys think about what we were trying to do and what you guys helped us do?
No, I think Lily loved it. It was a great opportunity to get her to be able to see what was going on in the community and be out of the house, but still distant from, we took the orders at the cars, so we were able to keep our social distance and still participate.
Right.
And I think that was a great way to get her out of the house, since they're in the house and she can't leave. She hasn't been out of the house since. So she's only walked, the dog and stuff, and taken runs on our street and stuff. So it was a good way to get her out of the house, but keep us not overly going around the community and
right.
Yes, going out to hang out.
Because we still have to service our community, but now we have to take a different approach at servicing our community because of the regards to the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to cross-contaminate you. We want to make sure that you're not contaminating anyone else. So we need to all do our part to reduce the risk.
And I think that's what we're trying to do. And like I said, I know we have a small show, but you know what? Small shows turn into something really big. And I see this. I see this happening, and I am so grateful. We are going to wrap it up for today, but I am thankful to be a part of this community. I know all of you guys are. And I am just excited about what is going to happen, what we can actually accomplish if we play by the rules and we stick together.
Yeah, if we stand together, stand united, we are all #level up movement.
Exactly.
And before we know it, everyone will remember their humanity and want to give back.
And that's exactly what we need to do because, as Bob Dylan said, he not busy being born is busy dying.
Right.
So that might have been strange for the coronavirus thing, but just saying, we need to get together and we need to make sure that we remember our humanity and don't hoard, please, guys.
Yeah, definitely don't hoard. We have too many people out here in our community that really needs small things, and
So please, all you have to do is you can just go to the Level Up in Our Community Facebook page, and if there's something that you're willing to donate, whether it be diapers, whether it be wipes, to-go trays, anything like that, we are more than willing to take them. And guys, once again, we have we've leveled up a really good show today on
did.
North Georgia Business Radio X.
We so did.
And so, guys, until next week, please get in touch with us if you need. All you have to do is check us out on social media. We can't wait to see you guys next week.